Hello. Now we are going on to the last part of the cost of capital. In the previous videos, we have discussed the concept of cost of capital, the components of cost of capital, cost of debt, cost of preference share capital, cost of equity share capital. And now in this video, we are going to discuss about the cost of retained earnings and the most important part of this chapter, that is how we can calculate the overall cost of capital. So in this video we can see cost of retained earnings and the concept of overall cost of capital along with solved out problems. So see this video and I hope this will be really helpful for you people. Thank you. The cost of retained earnings. In the beginning we already said that normally the company can raise fund from equity by issuing equity share, by issuing preference share, by issuing debt, that means by issuing debentures or bonds, and by from retained earnings. So we know that if we are raising money through debt, definitely interest should be paid. If we are raising money through equity shares or preference share, a company needs to pay the dividend. So a cost is associated with it. But what about the cost of retained earnings? Is there any cost associated with retained earnings? We can see it. Generally, retained earnings is considered as a cost-free source of finance, that is no cost for raising it, because retained earnings is normally what? We have earned some money by doing our business, that is our profit, and after paying the tax and depreciation, some amount will remain in our hand, and the company has two options. Either they can give that money after depreciation and tax, their earnings after depreciation tax, that money can be paid as dividend, otherwise it can be retained as earnings. It can be retained for other future business purposes. So normally there is no cost. As we look, we can see that there is no cost is associated in raising retained earnings, because it is the after tax depreciation, after tax and depreciation, the earnings that we made, that amount is we are taking into the business. So there is no extra cost of extra cost is associated with making money from the retained earnings. But we must understand that there is an opportunity cost that lies with the retained earnings. The cost of retained earnings means it is the cost of dividends foregone by the equity shareholders. It is the rate at which the shareholders not receiving the dividend. As I already said, a company had done a business and it got some profit. It has some earnings with them. So after paying the depreciation and tax, the amount what left with them, they have two options. They can either pay the dividend or either they can retain the amount as dividend, as retained earnings. As retained earnings. So whenever a company is not paying dividend, they are retaining these earnings for the purpose of business. So actually, in the point of view of a shareholder, they are not getting the dividend. They are not getting the dividend because the money is used for retained earnings. So normally the cost of retained earnings is a cost of dividend is foregone by the equity shareholders, because they are foregoing their dividends so that that amount can be put as retained earnings. So at a particular rate, the shareholders is expected to get the dividend, but at that rate they are not getting the dividend. Instead, that money is taken for investing in other business opportunities as retained earnings. So the rate at which the shareholders is not receiving the dividend expected, that cost is known as the opportunity cost, and that is the cost which is associated with retained earnings. So normally the formulas for calculating the retained earnings is KR, that is the cost of retained earnings, is equal to D divided by MP into 100, or other formulas are also there. KR is equal to EPS divided by MP into 100, or somewhat we can say that KR is equal to KE itself. If growth rate given, then KR is equal to D divided by MP plus G into 100. So normally we should take an extra care while doing these problems, because the tax has to be adjusted in the above formulas. So there are lots of formula for KR, finding out KR, which is almost similar to the calculation of cost of equity share capital. The formulas are almost somewhat same, but we have to adjust the tax in the above formula. When the shareholders invest their after tax dividend in some securities, some expenses on buying the securities such as brokerage etc. will be incurred, and that should also be included in the above three formulas. See how tax and brokerage is included in the above three formulas of calculating the cost of retained earnings. That is KR is equal to D divided by MP into 1 minus T, that is tax, into 1 minus B, that is brokerage, into 100. Another formula is cost of retained earnings is equal to D divided by MP plus G into 1 minus T into 1 minus B into 100. And the last formula is KR is equal to KE into 1 minus T and 1 minus B. So the important thing that we must note in this is the cost of, normally there is no cost associated in retained earnings, but we must understand that there is an opportunity cost which is associated with raising fund from retained earnings, and this opportunity cost is the rate at which the shareholders is not receiving their expected dividend. So there are mainly three formulas, and we must include the tax as well as the brokerage in calculating the retained earnings. So we can see a question so that you will get a better idea about the cost of retained earnings. That is, a firm's cost of equity is 18%. The average income tax rate of shareholders is 30%, and the brokerage cost is 2% is expected to be incurred while investing their dividends in alternative securities. Compute the cost of retained earnings. So here the tax is given, the brokerage is given, and the cost of equity is also given, that is 18%. So we can stick on to the third formula, that is KE is equal to KR, that is the cost of retained earnings, is equal to KE into 1 minus T into 1 minus B. That means KE is given 18%, tax rate is given 30%, and brokerage is also given 2%. So just substitute in the formula, that is KR is equal to 18 into 1 minus 0.30 into 1 minus 0.202 is equal to 18 into 0.7 into 0.98 is equal to 12.35% is the cost of retained earnings. So I hope you will have a better idea about how to calculate. So in this question, the data is given in this manner. The cost of equity is given. Sometimes you will get the informations like tax rate, brokerage, dividend, and market price of share. Then by whatever information is given, according to that you want to choose out of these three formulas which you have to take. Okay, so that's all about cost of retained earnings. So next we can move on to the very important part of this chapter, that is weighted average cost of capital, that is also known as WACC or K0. So we have discussed about calculating the specific cost of capital of each source. That is, we already studied about how to calculate the cost of debt, how to calculate the cost of preference share, cost of equity share capital, cost of retained earnings. That are the different sources from which the capital can be raised, and we have discussed how we can calculate the specific cost from each sources. The next step is to calculate the overall cost of capital of the firm. Overall cost of the capital. We cannot find overall cost of capital by just adding all these specific costs, because overall cost of capital is something which is different. It is an average cost of various sources. So we can see how we can calculate the WACC. WACC summarizes the after tax cost of the entire capital structure. The entire capital structure means there may be debt will be there, preference share will be there, equity share will be there, retained earnings will be there. So we want to calculate the after tax cost of the entire capital structure. It is the average cost of the various sources of finance. So WACC, it is the average cost of all sources of fund in the capital structure properly weighted by the proportion of each cash source in the cost of capital in the total capital structure. That's very important because it is properly weighted by the proportion of each cash sources. Consider two companies A and B. If in the company A, they may be depending upon more on debt than preference share, equity share, and retained earnings. So the weight of proportion of debt in that company is more in their capital structure. Consider a company B where they are more giving importance to equity share, they are finding the majority of the fund from equity shares, then we must realize that the weight of proportion of equity share is more than the other sources. So we need to understand the weighted proportion of each sources. So then only we can calculate the weighted average cost of capital. So this is an important concept. It is also known as composite cost of capital or overall cost of capital. It is very important to know the weighted average cost of capital, because only if we know the weighted average cost of capital we can say that the company's earnings is enough or not. Always the company's earnings must be at a rate which is greater than the weighted average cost of capital, then only the company can survive. Remember, the company's earnings should be at a rate which should be greater than the weighted average cost of capital, then only the company can survive. So in order to calculate the weighted average cost of capital, there are some steps. First of all, we should know the assignments of weight. Second one is computation of the specific cost. Third one is computation of WACC. And the last stage is sum up the WACC for total WACC. That means first step, assignment of weights. We must assign the weights to each sources of fund used in the capital structure. Then we must compute the specific cost of each sources of fund. That may be debt, preference share, equity share, something like that. Then we need to calculate the WACC of each sources of fund. Then we must add or sum up all the WACC of each fund. Let's have a question. You will get a better idea about how to calculate the WACC. See the question. XY Limited has the following book value capital structure. You can see three major columns, that is source, amount and cost of capital. So equity capital in shares of 10 each fully paid up at par. The amount is 15 crores and the cost of capital is already given, that is 16%. That means the specific cost KE is given 16%. 11% preference capital in shares of 100 each fully paid up at par. Its amount is 1 crore. And the cost of capital, that is KP, is given 15.43%. Retained earnings 20 crores. The cost of capital, that means the cost of retained earnings, KR, is given 16%. 13.5 debentures of 100 each, amount 10 crores. The cost of capital, that means the cost of debentures, is also given, that is 12.70%. And 15% term loans, amount is 12.5 crores. And the cost of capital, that means the cost of bonds or long-term loans, is given, that is 9%. Now we can move on to the solution. Before move on to the solution, since the calculation of WACC is a very huge task, normally when you are asked to calculate the WACC, it will be the cost of the specific cost may be given for you. Otherwise it will take a long time to calculate the cost. So normally the computation of specific cost that we have discussed in the previous areas, normally the specific cost will be given to you. The task is the important task for you people is to assignment of weights, computation of WACC and summing up. Because if you need to calculate the specific cost also, that means the cost of each sources of fund, then it will take a long time to cover up. So it won't be asking for your examination. So here we can move on to the solutions. Total amount is 58.5 crores. We should add all this, so we will get the 58.5 crores. And as next we can move on to the assignments of weight. That is the first step of WACC, assignment of weights. Assignments of weights. We know that the equity share capital is 15 crore. So the total amount of capital employed is 58.5%. So in order to get the weight of equity share capital in the capital structure, 15, that means the equity share capital amount 15 divided by 58.5 into 100, we will get 25.64% is the weight of the equity share capital. Like that, preference share capital, we know that the amount of preference share capital is 1 crore in the capital structure. So 1 divided by 55.5 into 100, we will get 1.71% is the weight of preference share capital. Like that, retained earnings, And debentures, we know that the retained earnings amount is 20 crore and debentures is 10 crore. So divide it with the total amount associated with the capital structure 58.5, you will get 34.18 percentage as the weight of retained earnings and 17.09 as the weight of debentures. And the long term loans, it is 12.5 divided by 58.5 into 100, you will get 21.36 percentage. So assignment of weights is completed. Next is the computation of specific cost. It is already given in the question that equity share capital KE is 16 percentage, KP preference share equity cost of preference share capital is 15.43, KR the cost of retained earnings is 16 percentage, KD that the cost of debt is 12.70 percentage, and the loans that is 9 percentage. So it is already given. So if we are asked to calculate the specific cost also, then the information regarding that will be given, and it will be a tedious task for us to calculate the specific cost of each sources. Then we must find out the assignments of weight, then computation. So it will be a huge process. So normally if you are asked to calculate the WACC, the overall cost of capital, the specific cost will be given like this. Now the next stage is computation of WACC. That means we need to calculate, we need to multiply the weight with the specific cost. So equity share capital, we can see that for the equity share capital, we can see that the weight is 25.64 percentage. That means 0.2564 into the equity share capital specific cost is 16 percentage. So 0.16, you will get the weight of the equity share capital, that is 4.10. Like that, the preference share capital, we know that the weight of the preference share capital is 1.71 percentage. So it is 0.0171, and into the cost is associated with is 15.43 percentage, that is 0.1543. that is, you will get 0.26 percentage as the WACC of preference share capital. Like that, retained earnings, debentures and loans we are calculating, because we know the weight of each sources, we know the specific cost of each sources. Just multiply the weight with the specific cost, you will get the WACC. The next stage is just sum up all these WACCs. So the equity share capital's WACC 4.10 percentage plus 0.26 percentage plus 5.46 percentage plus 2.17 percentage plus 1.92 percentage, you will get the total WACC. That means it is equal to 13.92 percentage. So this is the overall cost of capital, and the company should earn at a rate which is greater than this total WACC. Then only the company will survive. Friends, I hope this entire videos about the cost of capital and the components of cost of capital was really informative for you people. I have tried to explain the cost of capital concept, the components of cost of capital like cost of debt, cost of preference share capital, cost of equity share capital, cost of retained earnings, and the overall cost of capital. So I hope the problems that we discussed in this videos are really helpful for you people. Keep learning, and I hope all of you are safe, and stay safe, stay at your home. Thank you.